Resistance has attempted to contact cells beyond the Montrose area. It's hard to determine what's happening outside the wall, but our KPA sources report that several patrols have gone missing. And the ones that survived have nothing but horror stories. After the EMP went off and the electronic grid that sustained us broke apart, our nation fell into a kind of a madness. I remember that first winter, desperation sweeping the country. People turned on each other, and worse, as food grew scarce. Many beyond the wall have no allegiance to any cause other than their own survival. If you must deal with them, be advised they can be unpredictable, and a fair number outright insane. Let's be careful out there. This is the voice of freedom.
Real convenient, the Voice of Freedom deciding to do a piece about survivalist camps right before we're actually about to enter a survivalist camp. I mean, what a coincidence, right?
Wait here, huh? These boys aren't exactly Korean friendly.
Yeah, because they can't see him from over there, right? They're all nearsighted. They gotta be 5 feet away, otherwise they can't make out a facial detail.
He knew who he was dealing with.
Well, what do we have here? Connor fucking Morgan. We heard the Norks hanged your ass.
They keep trying. So, where's the chopper?
Where's Boone?
He's dead.
Well, shit. I guess the deal's off.
Listen, asshole, don't even think about jerking us around.
Hey! Help me out here. We're fighting the same war.
Hey, you know, I'll tell you what. I'll take the bitch and Scarface hiding over there, and you can walk away without a bullet in you.
I think you're getting a bad end of that deal.
You know, I'm actually sort of surprised they bothered to animate this. I mean, you half expect them to just pull out their pistol, shoot them, and then immediately go into their stock animations, but they actually bothered with this sort of, kind of.
We are not leaving without that chopper. We'll be lucky if we leave at all.
They're Americans! They're supposed to be on our side!
No! These guys have lost it. They're not on anybody's side.
Try and take them alive. The Koreans will pay more if they're still kicking.
Did you catch that? Did you see what they did there? It was actually kind of subtle for this game. So, you have Brianna set up that we're shooting at Americans right now, that we should maybe feel a little guilty about it, but then you immediately hear a survivalist say after that, the Koreans will pay more if they're still kicking, which sets up that they're working with the Koreans, that we shouldn't feel guilty about this, that because the Koreans are inhuman monsters, that these guys are also the same by proxy, so we shouldn't feel guilty about shooting fellow Americans right now. We're operating in a universe where we shouldn't feel guilty about killing anyone, where all the people we're killing have it coming, where the Koreans are barely human beings, and as will be established over the course of this level, neither are these guys. There can't be any moral ambiguity about anyone we're killing, otherwise the whole game falls apart.
Need to reload! Give me some cover!
Clear that goddamn house!
So, other than the fact that we're shooting fellow Americans, if you will, instead of Koreans, this level is more or less the same as levels past. I can't say the same thing for the next level, though, the second to last level. That's something completely fucking different. And you know what? To be fair, in this level, there is a sort of different sequence too. Maybe even 2 of them, I guess, if you wanna. That qualifies, I think. You'll see that when we get to it, I'll point it out. I'm noticing a lot of reused assets here between these houses and the ones back in the city, the occupied city. It's like a horrible dystopian future where IKEA won the great bidding war and became the only furniture store around.
Don't fire until I give the word, but when I do, don't hesitate.
So hey, remember those scenes from, well, I guess all the Modern Warfare games? Where you have to sneak around with a silent sniper rifle and only shoot dudes when Price or Macmillan or whoever you're following tells you to?
They got the helicopter stashed somewhere. We're gonna sneak through the camp and steal it.
They must know we're here.
I doubt it. The sound of gunfire is pretty common around these parts. We don't know how many of them there are, but these guys have been prepared for the end of the world since before the Y2K scare. They're heavily armed and out of their fucking minds. We've got to get as close to that chopper as we can before they figure out we're here. I want safeties on until I tell you otherwise. This mission's over if they spot us.
What was all that shooting?
Probably picking off another Nork patrol. Captain doesn't want nobody near that helicopter.
We have a helicopter?
Yeah, in the yard behind the church. You ain't seen it?
I never go back there. I heard there are Korean snipers in the woods.
That's the dumbest goddamn thing I've ever heard.
If that's the dumbest goddamn thing he's ever heard, he's clearly never played this game before. So here's a pretty boring newspaper clipping, something about cargo ships and the Korean military commandeering them, and I don't know. This is probably impossible or impractical. I mean, like, basically everything that discusses military tactics of Korea in this game is completely impractical, but I just wait for people in the thread or in the comments to point that stuff out to me. You know, speaking of impractical and impossible, you'll notice a lot of dead North Koreans in this level, a lot of anti-North Korean sentiment coming from the survivalists, which that makes sense on the surface. But on the other hand, we have the comment from earlier, the one they sort of shoehorned in, where they said that they were willing to sell us to the Koreans, so they have some sort of business relationship with them, but at the same time, they're killing them and hanging their bodies up as trophies. But the Koreans aren't rushing in and decimating all of them and taking their camp over. There's just something that doesn't make sense about that to me.
Hold! There's a sniper on that windmill. He's gonna spot us unless we take him out. Jacobs, when you've got a clear shot, take it. The rifle's got a zoom. Use it if you need to.
For some reason, using mouse wheel while you're in scope mode doesn't actually adjust the zoom. That just forces you to switch your weapon out, which is kind of counterintuitive. Instead, you have a button that you press, in this case, E on my keyboard. The only shit worse than that is Counter-Strike, where you have to keep on right-clicking to adjust your zoom to different levels, and that's just the fucking worst.
Hold up, hold up. Wait for them to leave. I can't watch, they're toying with him.
So this bit right here, this is the closest the game ever comes to humanizing the Koreans.
Oh, great job. Now what do we do?
This isn't right. We don't kill for sport.
Just let him walk away. Jesus, how did Boone hook up with these guys? I don't know, Hop, and I don't want to know. Okay, we're clear. Head for that tractor. Follow me.
So I mentioned earlier that this whole section is really a ripoff of the quote-unquote stealth sequences in Modern Warfare. The problem with everything that this game tries to ape from Call of Duty is that this game does it way worse, that it doesn't understand what makes those sequences fun. In the case of Modern Warfare's stealth sequences, there's tension, there's actual dudes walking around on patrol, you can actually get caught. Here, not so much. See, there's no one around, it's just an empty field.
Push harder, you miserable sack of shit! If those batteries aren't charged by sundown, I'll strip every last inch of flesh from your backs.
So the game wants us to feel bad for the Koreans now, after they've killed innocent people and leveled an entire city? It's a pretty tough sell at this point, don't you think?
Another RPG.
Brianna, you handle the guy blocking our exit.
These are Americans, Connor. I didn't sign up for this.
Do you want to get out of here alive or not?
Right.
Why does Rihanna even hesitate here? From everything she's seen up until this point, she should know by now these guys are clearly monsters. I mean, her first interaction with them was them threatening to take her and rape her.
Jacobs, take him out.
There, it's done.
Well, that was exciting, wasn't it? Exciting enough to tide us over for the next minute and a half of no shooting whatsoever? You tell me.
Everyone into the garage.
So I've got a lot to say about this upcoming sequence, but no time during it to say anything, so soak it all in for now.
I hear a helicopter. Over there, Korean recon chopper.
What are they doing out this far?
Do you think they're here for us or them? I don't know. Stay out of sight until it passes. Jesus, did you see that? Gonna be a short flight if we leave these RPGs behind. Let's make our way toward that farmhouse.
Norks never learn. You think those resistance fucks are the same ones Dr.
follow
Rose
me.
was talking about? Koreans are offering a bounty. What would you do with a bounty? Money ain't worth shit out here. Yeah,
They're sending out a patrol.
Check out the wreck.
We've got to stay off
It'll
the
be there
roads.
tomorrow.
Let's hope they don't find the mess we left at the gate.
You gonna deal or not?
And go.
So a lot of stupid shit just happened in a very short amount of time, and we still have a very short amount of time to actually talk about it. So the big points. First of all, we had those two conversations going on at the same time between those survivalists and our team, so that fucking sucked. And then you had the helicopter getting shot down, which apparently seemed like a common occurrence here, which goes back to my point as to how the Koreans and survivalists could have any sort of working relationship. The developers were clearly trying to establish the RPGs as a threat to our helicopter when we try to leave, but the problem with them including it is that it just further complicates this complicated relationship between the survivalists and the Koreans. This whole premise is stupid and impossible.
God
A few
damn.
more feet, Kim, then you can stop. Hey, you guys, come check this out.
Hold your horses, we're coming. Hey, what are you guys doing?
We got this dumb Nork digging his own grave.
Okay, so who's gonna shoot him?
I will.
Maybe we don't shoot him. Maybe we bury him alive instead.
Did I tell you to stop? Keep digging.
What on earth? Like I said, these guys have lost it. We need to get out of here.
I mean, I hope you understand why I'm so frustrated about what's going on here, about how this is being presented, how the survivalists exist for the sole purpose of killing Norks. Like, that's all they do, all day long, is just torture North Koreans. They fucking take them hostage, shoot down their helicopters, they don't give a fuck. And apparently the North Koreans don't give a fuck about this either. And yet, the second our little resistance cell has one or two successful operations, they're burning an entire city down in retaliation. There's no logic here. The Koreans, the survivalists, members of our own fucking crew are all this evil, sick motherfuckers, and we have no one to root for.
Knives out, Jacobs. Make it quiet.
Not sure why we can't use our silent sniper rifle here, but yeah, sure, whatever, let's knife him. And that was the loudest fucking knife I've ever heard in my goddamn life. I mean, we could have been fucking shouting while we were stabbing him, and you still wouldn't have heard it over the sound of that knife.
Sick of that Chinese shit. If I wanted to taste cardboard, I'd smoke some fucking cardboard.
Count your blessings. Last week, Dodson got a pack of the bullet hole clean through it. Snork bastard must have had him in his shirt pocket.
I guess. Thanks, man. Got a light?
I guess the answer to that question is no, because they're walking away at this point.
We're dead on takeoff unless you shoot this asshole.
We don't move until you take him out.
I'm curious about these two guys with the cigarettes, so I want to see where they're going. Are they going to walk back to his house to get his lighter or something? No, they're just going to stand there, huh? Yep, they're just gonna fucking stand there. Not smoking, not doing anything. Say, speaking of not doing anything, there's this next section of the level.
Keep off the road. Follow the river.
Yep. We're just fucking walking here. No one in sight. Nothing to do.
How much farther, Connor? We should be close. Just keep it together. This place brings back bad memories.
Oakland?
Yeah. Vigilante assholes, just like these guys, lynched anyone who looked even slightly Asian. I got lucky. They just burned my house down.
I'm sorry.
War brings out the worst in all of us.
Says Connor fucking Morgan.
One of many.
Oh, God!
We need to get out of here, now!
In case you forgot, we have nowhere to go. We have to keep moving.
More gunfire.
I hear it. No point in being quiet now. The only way through is straight up the middle. Safety's off.
He's down!
Isn't this just a fucking breath of fresh air? After 10 minutes, where we fired, I think, maybe a total of like 6 or 7 shots, finally we get treated to a generic gunfight. It's a gunfight, it's something, it's action.
On me.
So how exactly are we supposed to feel about the survivalists at this point? Are we supposed to hate them, sympathize with them, feel guilty because they're American? And what about the Koreans? Do we have a newfound respect for them? Does it matter? Of course it doesn't. At the end of the day, They're all bad guys, and so they all have to die. That's just how video games work. The problem here is that the villains are just so over the top, that the survivalists are just so gross, and that the Koreans are so evil. And then you remember that these are actual groups of people who live and exist today, who aren't all fucking evil. Not all North Koreans are fucking monsters. Not all survivalists love hoarding guns and killing people, and actually...
That's all of them. Hope the others didn't hear that.
Actually, you know what? They might actually be right about that one. I'm sorry. Point to Chaos Studios. The point I'm trying to make here is that the game is over-justifying killing these people, that they're making them out to be less than human, when in reality, and even in the context of the game, they are still human beings. This isn't a problem in games like Call of Duty, because the game isn't constantly trying to reinforce why you need to kill these people. They're just putting them there, and expecting you to kill them.
Holy shit! They survived the attack.
Who should we shoot? Shoot them all.
Well, there you go. You heard Connor say it himself. Just shoot them all. Don't think about it. Hold down left mouse button until everything is fucking dead. What the fuck does it matter? And fuck me for even thinking about it. What kind of asshole am I? Trying to look at this game critically. Trying to dissect the story when... Who gives a shit about the stories in these games, right? I mean, they're just jokes. They're just there. You shouldn't pay attention to... Oh. Oh.
I got him.
Oh.
Reload. I'm low on ammo.
Fuck yeah, Jacob!
Have I mentioned yet that the shooting in this game is really unsatisfying? Like none of the guns feel like they pack any punch. This is like an essential thing in first-person shooters. It's basically like part of the 101 course of first-person shooter game design, is that your guns have to feel good. Kinda makes combat a fucking chore in this game. I mean, like I said, and I think the last episode, that I'm not showing this game off to show off the combat. It's to show off all the stuff around the combat, which all happens to suck as well. And so that's why I'm going off on these little rants. That's why I'm picking apart the game's storytelling, because what else is there to talk about here? And besides, you read what that one reviewer said, right? Assuming you paused the video to read the text on the screen? Okay, so maybe you didn't read it. Basically, one of the guys said that the story makes the campaign worthwhile, despite the run-of-the-mill action and unsatisfying length. So, there you go. If the game's story is supposed to carry the game, then my commentary on the story should be able to carry the commentary, right? That makes sense. So, you may have noticed we're fighting in a sort of trailer park now, despite the fact that there were houses before. I wonder what determines, like, who gets to live in the houses and who has to live in the trailers. You'd probably want to get placed in a trailer, right? Because at least that has, like, a ceiling without holes in it. And so it's like one floor, and there's not going to be any holes, like, in the floor where you can accidentally fall down. Not like in that first house we were inside of. Where are the newspaper collectibles about the survivalist settlements in this game? I want to read those. Fuck you, John Milius, you hack fuck. Oh wait, you didn't even write this game, did you?
That ought to be the last of the RPG teams. Come on, we're taking the road!
What about patrols?
We're out of time.
There's another chopper coming.
More Koreans?
No, it's a scout chopper.
You know, a thought just occurred to me here. Trying to shoot down the choppers as a survivalist, wouldn't that be, like, super fucking risky? Like, who's to say the chopper won't spiral and then come crashing directly into your settlement? Like, into your trailer park, killing all of your people? I mean, if you go back earlier, you'll see that the North Korean chopper that got shot down conveniently crashed in the middle of the road away from buildings, but you can't just bet on that happening every time.
We're gonna need some cover to even get near that heli.
Yeah, it's bound to be heavily guarded.
You should be able to see everything from that bell tower.
It's like the perfect spot for you, Jacobs.
Oh, can you tell where this is leading now? I bet you can't.
Alright, Brianna, Hopper with me. We're gonna scout ahead. Jacobs, climb up to the bell tower and provide overwatch.
See you on the other side.
Psst, we're gonna be a sniper. we're gonna climb the bell tower, and we're gonna use a sniper rifle to shoot people. Oh, and this gap looks big enough that I should be able to walk through it, but apparently I can't. That was a miscalculation on my part. My bad. But yeah, we're meant to provide sniper overwatch here. Which is actually the worst idea you could have, as you'll see, because it puts us the furthest away from the helicopter. Remember that we're the pilots, the only one in this group who knows how to fly a helicopter. And yet, here we are, getting sent off on our own, having to kill these guys all by ourselves with no backup, so we can climb a bell tower and just stare at the helicopter from afar. You know, there's really nothing going on in the game right now, so now's probably an okay time to mention that this game has a strategy guide. For some reason. I really don't know why. This single-player campaign is as linear as could possibly be. The multiplayer, more or less self-explanatory. I mean, I'm amazed that strategy guides even continue to get published in the first place nowadays. I mean, doesn't everyone know about GameFAQs at this point? Oh, but this is beside the point. I mention the strategy guide because, one, it's completely fucking useless, and two, it has the only picture of our player character, Robert Jacobs, without a dumb blindfold over his face. You're looking at it right now. And frankly, at what other point in the LP am I going to have a chance to talk about this shit, if not for a completely uneventful gunfight?
Jackpot. We're in position. We got eyes on the helicopter, but there's too many of them guarding it. We're gonna have to thin their ranks first. Jacobs, I'm gonna walk you onto your targets. Hold your fire. I'll tell you when to shoot.
Connor, sit tight. There's a truck coming.
So in this exciting segment of the level, we get to watch animations play out.
Got a sniper on the silo walkways. Wait for it.
At a certain point, the game's script tells an audio file to play containing a voice sample of Connor Morgan's voice actor. Then we left mouse button click on the enemy model, and then it becomes a ragdoll.
Okay, Rihanna, move up after Jacobs takes out the guy by the warehouse.
Can you tell I don't like sniping sequences in first-person shooters?
Shit.
As if that weren't enough, if you miss a shot, you have to redo the whole fucking sequence again. So don't fucking miss. But yes, I fucking hate sequences like this in first-person shooters, even in beloved Call of Duty. Anytime the game just forces you to stand in one spot and wait for things to happen, and keep waiting, left-click once, and keep waiting, is fucking torture for me. I can't stand it. I don't have the patience for it. This is why I don't camp in multiplayer games either. It's just not something I find fun. You know, sniping just isn't exciting. I mean, it's just not. I mean, it's an essential combat role. I mean, I'm glad our military has snipers, but it's just no fun to play as in a video game.
Oh, shit. Shit. New target, Jacobs. There's one right next to me.
In games that revolve entirely around sniping, how fucking terrible are those things? I mean, look at fucking Sniper Elite.
Drop him.
Connor, he's coming towards us.
Just a little farther. Take him out. Okay, you're clear. Go.
Look at, what's that other one? Sniper Ghost Warrior. Garbage games. Fuck those games. It's a ton of waiting around.
Connor, one headed toward you.
Gee, I sure hope this is every bit as exciting for you to watch at home as it is for me to play.
I don't think he saw you. Stay there. Jacobs, put him down when he's behind the red truck.
Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. Shoot him. Ah, it was worth the wait.
Wait until he gets back to his truck, then shoot him.
Probably worth mentioning there's no actual bullet drop-off here, and that whole range to target meter is just for show. Also, if I had somehow fucked up either of these last two shots and had to replay the sequence, I wouldn't. I'd be done. Stop recording. End of the LP. That'd be it.
One more. Take him out. Okay, everyone to the truck.
Thankfully, we are nearing the end of the level, as well as this episode. Just a really fucking brutal level in terms of being boring, unexciting, not giving us much to do.
What's the plan?
Hold on, we're going through.
Connor, not again!
Oh hey, it's the old run 'em over with a truck routine for the third time in this game. Oh wait, that concrete barrier is probably going to be a problem for it. Nah, just goes, plows right on through. What is even the point of putting him up at that point? Now, the first time I played this and I turned around and saw what happened to the doorway, I seriously thought that the survivalists had come up behind me and boarded the door shut if I wasn't paying attention or something.
We're at the helicopter! Push through to us!
Now, see, this is what I was talking about before. We're so far away from the helicopter. We are the furthest away from the helicopter. We should have been the first one in the helicopter. And whoever else got picked to snipe from the tower, we could have just come around in the helicopter and picked them up. And by we, I mean Robert Jacobs, the only helicopter pilot in the group, who has to make his way across this field by himself, putting himself at the highest risk to be the last one on the helicopter. Well, hey, you know what, Rihanna? This wouldn't be a fucking problem if Robert was the first one in the helicopter and could just use the guns that we'll be using for all of the next level to kill all these guys. But no, let's thank Connor fucking Morgan for yet another brilliant battle plan. And conveniently, the camera is placed at just the right angle so you don't actually have to see a player model for the player character. Because that would require creating one more model for the game, which was just too much work for Chaos. Join me next episode where we spend the entirety of the level flying a helicopter. I wish I were fucking joking.